In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your rear drum brakes on your Ford Taurus. They're located behind your rear wheels. Using a 19mm socket, I'm going to take our lug nuts off. All right, so we're gonna adjust our drum brakes here to get the drum off. So to do that, you're gonna take off this rubber thing in the back. This little, you can use needle nose pliers. That's what I usually use. I used to use a screwdriver with a flathead, but I found that needle nose pliers work better for me. Okay, when you are adjusting or unadjusting your adjuster, you're gonna be pushing the tool upward and spinning the wheel down to loosen up the drum. There we go. So you want to make sure you got something below as you're spraying this all down. I like to clean everything up so I can see what's happening, especially if they're filthy like this. So the first thing when you're taking off drum shoes is to disconnect your emergency brake. I'm going to use a pair of locking pliers to hold on to the end of the cable, and a pry bar, hopefully, to pry away from its home. You want to try to get that spring away from the bracket in order to get the cable free. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take our springs out using a tool. Okay, so you're going to take this spring out first. I'm laying my parts down according to how I take them off so that when it's time to install the new ones, you know what you're doing and you know where things go. If you have never done drum brakes, it's highly recommended you do that. All right, next we're going to take this spring out. Good to just kind of break them free first. If your car's rusty. And then you can undo them. You really just want to take the tension off so that when you take these out, it's easier to do all that. So we're going to leave that there for now. All right, now that we've taken out our springs or disconnected them, we're going to take our adjuster. Place that on there, and we're going to take out the rest of the adjuster by pulling the shoes apart. I'll put this down. All right, next we're going to take out our hold downs. You're going to use a tool like this. A lot of times the spring should fit inside, and then it's much easier to twist a little slot, and this just goes through the backing of the drum, and your goal is to twist it so that it lines up and comes out. It helps to hold the pin on the backing plate. If you hold it with your finger and you twist, it's easier because the pin won't be spinning with it. All right, so you take that out. And as you can see, ours is pretty beat up. And now we're going to disconnect our other side. So hold the pin on the back. And it should come out. So now at this point, we should be able to take our shoe out. The spring looks like it wants to stay here. That is not an option. I'm going to take that out, lay it down, and we're going to take our other side out and lay that down. So we're first going to transfer this lever and its clip on the back side. We're going to transfer that to the new shoe. So we're going to take it over to the bench. So here we are. I have my shoe in a vise so I can free up this lever. This lever is supposed to move, but it was obviously seized up in our car. So I'm just wiggling it around, trying to get it to move a little bit easier. And then I'm going to take out this clip. Once I free it up a little bit more. So this lever should move freely. It shouldn't be stuck like that. It's not going to do its job. It's all seized up. Okay. Now you can take it out, clean it up. So now you're going to want to clean up your lever. The wire brush will be fine. All right, so our spring washer is obviously pretty much non-existent at this point. So we had to replace ours. So here we are with our new one. We are going to put that on. And then we're going to put our horseshoe clip. We're going to get it started and then put it in place. All right, so you're going to want to put some anti-seize on this little area here. As far as this washer goes, you can either put it with the clip and the washer together on the top, or you can put this washer on there and then put it in the brake like this, and then squish this and then put the clip in. We're going to do that for this car. We'll have it'll have a stronger hold on it. I'm going to use a set of locking pliers to squeeze this down. Enough to get my clip in there. All right, so once you get your clip in a good spot, you can tap it on. I'm going to squeeze this a little bit on this end. That feels much better. And we just need a little bit of a space between this bracket and the brake shoe. That seems to be functioning quite well. So this part of the shoes is done, ready to install. So here we are, we have our adjuster. This is a really important part. You definitely want to take this apart and make sure everything's functioning correctly. So I'm going to unscrew this completely. I'm going to clean it up with my wire wheel or wire brush if that's all you have, and clean it up. Don't lose your little washer, goes in between. All right, so now we have our almost brand new looking adjuster. I'm going to put some anti-seize on this and on the other end. You can also use caliper grease. I'm going to thread this in and back and forth. You should be able to turn it really easily with your hand. So once you can accomplish that, you're good to go. All right, so now you're going to put your washer back. I would put some of this in here. Squish it in there. This just kind of spins in there freely without a thread. And your adjuster is ready to be installed. Just make sure this is clean. You can wire brush this too. Any moving parts, you're going to want to put some anti-seize on. Prevents the rust and obviously from seizing. All right, we're ready to transfer these over to the car. Before we install our drum shoes, we're going to clean off the backing plate, and anywhere where the pads will rest and move about, we're going to put some anti-seize. All right, now you can brake pads, clean it off. All right, so you're going to want to put some anti-seize on these high spots on the backing plate. To get this cable back in the bracket, we're going to get a pair of locking pliers and some wire cutters. We're going to push back our spring when we get a good grip on it. And you're going to hold that cable like that. We're going to let go of our other end here since we can't seem to get the bracket in. I'm going to slide our bracket in. All right, so once you get that in, okay, so now keep it stable, and we're going to add our pin with our spring to hold it in place. All right, so push your pin through. Grab your spring. Make sure you're lining up the mouth of it the same way the pin's going. I like to either pick up and down or horizontal. And while you're holding that stable, you are going to grab your tool. If you find that you're a little bit off, you can just twist the spring a tiny bit until it's locked in there. All right, for this side, we are going to place our shoe where it belongs. We're going to get our pin through. We're going to worry about the rest after we get the shoe stable with our spring. So again, you're going to line up your pin head with the spring. This side might be a little more tricky because there's nothing holding it there for you. All right, so here we are with our adjuster. We are going to put it back together. We need to put this bracket in this little tooth here, like so. And that's what locks the adjuster in place. This side is the thread side. So when you spin this wheel, it expands the shoes out or in. So you want that all the way in to get the drum on. You're going to turn it sideways so it locks into the shoe in this bracket. You're going to slide this through. First, put the adjuster in first. Like that. Then you're going to slide this part through here while you slide that through there. So it lines up like that. And what holds all of this tight is this spring. You're going to feed it through the top here. That's why it's got the little loop-de-loo. Like that. And then you're going to stretch this spring into that So this spring is super springy, and I'm having a hard time getting it in there, so I'm going to try some locking pliers on here to hold it. Okay. Then you can try using leverage to get it in. Like that. All right, so this spring we got to feed up through here, through the behind the emergency brake cable. Above it, you're going to feed it through, and you're going to hook it into behind, and then you're going to hook it into that hole. And for this, I'm just going to use these because you don't really need to pull it too far. And you can hook it in. Our drum does not go on this way. I'm just hanging it here so we can clean it off. You're going to use a little brake pads cleaner. Clean that out. All right, ours looks like it's got some extra grossness going on, so I'm just going to clean it out with a paper towel as well. You don't want any grease or anything or oil in there. All right, so you're going to want to clean this up a little bit. Make sure the drum doesn't rust to it over time. And it fits on nicely. So use a wire brush or something like it. You want to get in this groove especially. Just like you would a rotor. Clean it off. And now we're going to apply some anti-seize. All right, so now we can put our drum on. Like that. And now we're going to adjust the brakes. All right, so now using your brake tool, you're going to turn the wheel so you're spinning it so your tool is going towards the floor. So you're turning the wheel up and the tool is going towards the floor. You're going to do this until your drum doesn't move, and then you're going to back it off about half a turn and see how that feels. Okay, I can't move my drum, so now I'm going to back it off the other way. I'm going to back it off about a half a turn. All right, so we're going to put our adjuster cover back. You don't want debris or water getting in there and ruining your brakes. So make sure you're mindful and put that back. Okay, you're going to put your wheel on. Start your lug nuts by hand. You're going to be tightening them like in a star-like pattern. Starting on the bottom one. Then you can torque it to 95 foot-pounds. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to torque our wheels to 95 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like pattern. then we're going to go all the way around one more time, just to check them. And we're good.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.